Dalovina guia dolosana angito talita kini ana barong ng Bula FM at Golden Point Resort basendo nambando ana here binaka.
Bula binaka na adang ko tevita utunggoy Nandi ando talita ka wale barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Nadang ko makilesi werkraki NSB ng Bula FM nambando ana sir.
Hello nga ratu kitchen ng Gatumbo ando talita na barong ng Bula FM nambando ana sir ngo lusu.
Bula FM number 2 ana sir.
Good evening, I'm Jackie Spate. This is FBC News. Tonight, one dead after floods with one more still missing. Fiji braces for more heavy rain and possible cyclone. And Baatavor residents brace for yet another battering. One person is dead and another is missing due to flooding in the Western Division yesterday, brought on by Tropical Depression TD15F. People are advised to refrain from entering town premises in the west from tonight, as Tropical Disturbance 14F and Tropical Depression 16F will start affecting the Fiji group from this evening. DISMAC Director Akapusi Tuifangalele says a total of 3,648 evacuees are taking shelter at 82 evacuation centres in the Central and Western Division at present. 72 evacuation centres are open in the Western Division, while 3 are open in the Central Division. The Fiji Police Force and the RFMF units in the West will strictly monitor these centres.
The discipline forces through the divisional commissioners at the various areas, they are working around the clock to ensure the safety of the people. They are working with the divisional commissioners, and likewise here in the capital, it's also at the national level that the police are also informed and they are in their very strategic areas for this evening and also for tomorrow.
Tuifangalele also says families need to ensure that they know the whereabouts of their children at this time, reminding them not to swim or play in flood waters.
Where now, as we are approaching wet weather tonight, you would expect the families to stay together rather than being separate. There may also be a curfew that can be provided later in the evening that is subject to the changing weather pattern that we are going through, but the general public and the people to be aware of the situation that we are in.
The country is expected to experience strong winds and heavy rain from this evening as 2 depressions, TD14F and TD16F, move towards the country. The Fiji Meteorology Service has confirmed that the 3rd depression, TD15, has moved away from the Fiji group and is heading towards Tonga. Akusita Tale has more.
The system is a tropical disturbance 14F, just to the west of Fiji, and it's gradually coming in and is expected to pass to the west of Fiji. And the other one is the new system that has developed overnight. It is a tropical depression 16F, which is off the coast of Solomon Islands, gradually moving in a southeastward direction, and is expected to pass to the west of Fiji tomorrow.
Residents in the Western Division, including the Yasawas, Mamanuthas and Bono Level, have been advised to brace themselves for more flooding of low-lying areas. Residents living along and around major rivers around the country have also been put on alert.
There has been sort of like an easing off in the rainfall, but this can be very deceiving because we are yet to be out of the woods altogether. With the tropical disturbance 14F coming in closer, we expect the rain to pick up again. From this afternoon, and as such, with the rain picking up, there's always a high possibility of flooding.
Funaki says that in the last 48 hours alone, Nandarivatu recorded 507 millimeters of rain, Nandi recorded 314.1 millimeters, Monasavu received 287 millimeters, while Onoilau received 261 millimeters of rain.
And this is not only experienced in the highlands, but at the same time is also the reason why there's been a significant flooding or severe flooding in the major rivers is because of this rainfall has eventually made its way down. 16F is developing very quickly. The probability of it developing into a tropical cyclone over the course of the next 24 hours is moderate to high.
People are being advised not to take the change in weather lightly as more damages are expected and the depression is approaching our waters.
Even though you will be having some prolonged period, as we're getting right now, of where there isn't a lot of rain. But the word that we're trying to inform the members of the public is that we are not out of the woods yet. There's still more coming, and for members of the public to remain vigilant and take heed of the warnings that are coming out, and please exercise good decision making, decisions that will save life.
Funaki says the two systems are slowly moving at 12 kilometers per hour in a southeastward direction. This gives time for rain to fall for a longer duration over the group when it moves in closer. The Fiji Met office will continue to monitor the three situations. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
More than 1,000 people were stranded at Korovuto village on the outskirts of Nandi last night. These included passengers of buses, lorry drivers, tourists and other travelling public. Akusita Tale again with this report.
This was the scene at Ngelelo at Nandi Back Road this morning as many of these passengers took shelter at Korovuto village as flood waters were still high and movement restricted.
I just left about 12 o'clock, so it's nearly 3 o'clock in the afternoon. When I came, I was stuck up in Malolo. So I spent a night at one of the friend's house, about 10 of us. So in the morning we came again. So we came up to Navu. The road was blocked there. Then after that we came again to town and near the temple. So we still be parking.
Korovuto village was flocked with people all night as the village had to cater for their meals.
4 buses stopped over the village last night, with each bus carrying close to 70 passengers each. Some of the passengers had to be billeted at Denny's supermarket, and this morning the village provided meals for those who were stranded.
Even tourists were left stranded as there was no other choice to get across the flooded waters.
I think we got here around 10 o'clock last night. We came here and stayed, and these people have just been looking after us, so it's been amazing. So I was supposed to leave on Sunday, but first of all I couldn't leave because I got Vic in my eye. And then I had to go get a certificate yesterday, so I was going to Nandi town to go get my certificate to take them so I could leave today. I'm not leaving.
We're here at the Nandi Back Road, and the road has been closed to the travelling public since yesterday morning. Some drivers have been here for more than 15 hours waiting to get to the other side. Water is slowly taking its time to go down, and this is holding up traffic from the town end. Nandi's district office has also confirmed that 31 evacuation centres are now active. Akusita Tale, FBC News.
Residents in the Western Division who are still recovering from the devastation of Cyclone Winston are worried about what will happen if another natural disaster hits. Most staying in Ba and Tavua are still trying to get their lives back on track and are now anxious about what awaits them in the next 72 hours. Madhyam Bolai Tamana with this report.
For Ambika Lal's family in Varavumba, the latest update from the weather office is naturally an unwelcomed one, especially whilst they are still picking the pieces from the destruction of tropical cyclone Winston.
Water was coming inside the house. Where do we go if the cyclone comes? There is a lot of us here.
The heavy rains over the past 48 hours has been evident on the makeshift lean-to home he and his neighbor have been able to put together in the past few weeks. But as he explains, no one expected more rain and bad weather to follow after Winston.
Evacuation center. We went to the evacuation center, but nothing was there. No one was there, so we just need to stay here and sleep and wait.
For those living in the flood-prone Tavua flats, the timely warning issued by the weather office must be adhered to.
Everyone in the village are preparing for the next few days. Yesterday, we were brought over by police and evacuated to the centers. Some have been billeted at hotels, but everyone is now looking forward to preparing for the cyclone that is coming our way.
Whilst many scurry to make last-minute preparations for the next 72 hours, some have a spiritual theory for the plague of natural disasters born over the past 8 weeks.
I think this is a sign from God. It's up to us to adhere and make ourselves clean before God, or we will continue to face the consequences of our deeds.
In reiterating the call issued by the Weather Office and those in authority, those living in low-lying areas in the Western Division are advised to start moving to high ground or evacuation centers while it is still daylight and not to be complacent. Madhyam Bolaitamana, FBC News.
The Northern Division is preparing as heavy rain is expected from this evening. Our northern correspondent Eleanor Tarangaivu reports the public, especially those in Lambasa, have been urged to prepare with flash flooding likely to occur.
While the north was spared from extreme flooding that occurred in the Western Division, all arms of government have been activated to be on standby, with rain expected from now until late evening.
We'll monitor, we will keep on monitoring the police and the education officials, as well as officials from DISMEC are all moving on the ground now, checking all the schools and those settlements near the river, should they need to be evacuated.
The hydrology unit is closely monitoring its water level gauge at Ndewala outside Lambasa town.
This is the worst area to get flooded, Lambasa. So Ndewala rain gauge is the one that is recording almost reaching the alarm level.
All the 21 schools that were closed yesterday are now open, and it's now up to parents if they want to send their children to school, keeping in mind their safety during this weather situation. In farming communities like this one in Korotari, which is close to the river, farmers are securing their livestock and property.
Are damaged because of the flood. Children can't go to school, no crossing here, and hard to plant anything in the gravel.
In-town businesses have been advised of the weather forecast and have been urged to take necessary action. Eleanor Turangivu, FBC News.
Coming up on FBC News, conjunctivitis outbreak confirmed in Suva. An LTA fights illegal taxi operators. Stay with us.
Namaste, Golden Point Resort. Raki Raki Me. Mirchi FM is garam garam. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Sanjay Tabuake. Mirchi FM is hot.
I'm Harshana. I love Mirchi FM. It's hot in Lautoga.
Hi, मैं अविनाश हूँ. मैं लंबासा से बोल रहा हूँ. मैं हमेशा मिर्ची एफएम सुन रहा हूँ. मिर्ची एफएम is so hot.
मैं शालिनी देवी from Covert Avenue. जैसे आँख खुलती है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम मुझे मस्त कर देती है. मिर्ची एफएम is hot.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.
Welcome back. This is FBC News. The Education Ministry has reduced the term to school break to 1 week, taking into account the loss of teaching and learning time due to Cyclone Winston and the current floods. Minister Dr. Mahendra Reddy says school will break for 1 week at the end of Term 1 and Term 2. Dr. Reddy says the 1 week gained will be added to Term 3, which will give 1 more week of teaching and learning time. He says that this will greatly assist the students in the cyclone and flood-affected areas that have lost teaching time. An outbreak of conjunctivitis, locally known as Zika, has been confirmed for Suva. National Director Communicable Diseases Dr. Mike Kama says tests on specifically what type of strain this eye disease has been sent abroad, with over 5,000 confirmed cases of it found in Suva alone. Maggie Boyle reports.
It's a scene out of a zombie movie. Thousands of Fijians afflicted with the eye infection commonly referred to as Zika.
The Minister has registered about over 5,000 cases, around 5,400 cases at this point, I think last week, and it's still growing. So I guess the next update will probably shoot over the roof, especially for the Suva subdivision in the capital.
With the eye infection cases flaring up in the thousands less than a month since Cyclone Winston, tests are now being carried out to ascertain whether there is any correlation between the two.
At this point in time, we're trying to identify with regards to the virus that's circulating in terms of the virus. So we are thinking that it may be an adenovirus, maybe a different serotype. That's why it's quite explosive.
By that you
transmission.
mean a new strain?
A new strain of the virus.
Meanwhile, Dr. Kama confirms that Fiji now has 10 confirmed cases of Zika, with another 30 samples sent abroad for testing. Maggie Boyle, FBC News.
The Fiji Electricity Authority says repair and restoration works to the distribution lines affected by Cyclone Winston has been temporarily suspended due to the weather conditions and will resume once the weather improves. FEA also says that power disruptions may be experienced in the Western Division, in particular Ba, Rakiraki and Singatoka. With available generation capacity, FEA has been able to prioritize and supply power to initial services such as hospitals, water and sewage treatment plants, towns, cities, etc., using the available diesel generators in Bunda, Ngelelo and Nandi and the Nandarivatu power station. The Land Transport Authority is again trying to overcome the age-old problem of illegal taxi operations. This call comes after 30 illegal taxis were apprehended in the Western Division over the weekend. Kelly Vadala has the details.
With the help of the police, the LTA was able to track down private vehicles that were illegally operating as taxis.
Through that joint operation, we managed to, to seize and to impound about 30 of these private cars and vans. And these were those that were caught red-handed, exchanging money, and they also admitted that they are doing illegal taxi business.
One of the main reasons people gave to using illegal taxi is simply due to the behavior of PSV drivers.
Yeah, the service providers, they are not only, failing to provide the service, but when they are providing the service, they are choosing on the type of passengers they want to take, and not only that, and also on the route. So, all these kind of excuses and attitude by these public transport service providers has caused some of these private cars to come.
LTA is reminding the public that vehicles which operate illegally are not insured, and should any accident occur, victims will not be able to claim insurance.
Vehicles are not covered under the proper insurance that safeguard the life of the passengers. So for public service vehicles, that go through the process, Land Transport Authority process, they are all being viewed and scrutinized from all angles, from the insurance part, from the third party, from the inspection, and even for the drivers.
Trinadeva says PSV operators must remember that the lifestyle in Fiji is changing and people are moving about 24/7, so transportation must be available at all times. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Sports now, we join Charlie with the latest.
Good evening. In sports tonight, talks on track for Oceania volleyball meet, and Vodafone signs on for Rio Olympics. This and more coming up.
Yandra, I love listening to Gold FM at Golden Point Resort. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Hola, my name is General from Rakiraki Village. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic.
I'm Moses from Valeu. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Marida Manako. I'm from Kandavu. I like listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
My name is Silipa from Tabor Town. I love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the...
The Vodafone Fiji Sevens side went through a scrimmage session with Russia this morning in Hong Kong. Hong Kong Sevens will be played from Friday to Sunday, and Fiji faces Korea, Canada and Wales in pool play. You can watch the live coverage of the tournament on FBC TV and catch live commentaries of Fiji's matches on Radio Fiji 1 and Bula FM. And Fiji's pool opponents, Canada, are brimming with confidence to advance to the Cup quarterfinals during the Hong Kong Sevens. 5 winners have been drawn by Total Fiji Limited to watch our Vodafone Fiji Sevens Gladiators in the first ever Singapore Sevens next week. 2 winners are from the Central Division, 2 from the West, and the other winner from the North. Total Fiji Limited says this is a chance for these winners to witness the first ever Singapore Sevens and cheer on our Sevens Gladiators.
So the package is the flights, the accommodation in the hotel, and tickets to the games for the weekend.
The Singapore Sevens tournament is scheduled on the 16th and 17th of this month. The Vodafone Fiji Under-20 team is pumped up to win the World Rugby Under-20 trophy. The national side will play 2 test matches in New Zealand before flying off to Zimbabwe for the proper tournament. Vashnil Prasad with the details.
Sharing a moment with their close ones, our Fiji Under-20 players looking well prepared for their competition.
For us, I think my boys are really up for it. You know, we haven't got the biggest in size, but you know, in hearts and you know, we've got some really guts boys in the team, and we don't promise anything, but the only thing that we promise is we'll give our 100% and our very best.
These players know too well it won't be an easy task qualifying for Tier 1 World Junior Championships. On top of everyone's mind is last year's early exit from the pool stages.
The toughest team would be Uruguay. The team last year that Fiji played, they were defeated by Uruguay. But hopefully this year, with this bunch of new boys, we can hopefully we can bring the victory to Fiji.
The side will play 2 matches against counties Manukau and Waikato this week in New Zealand.
We spent 2 weeks at Singatoka using sand dune, 2 early mornings, and the 3rd week we prepared the boys here in Suva.
All this in a bid to lift Fiji from Tier 2 where they were dumped 3 years ago. Officials are confident that our Under-20 boys will do Fiji proud. Vashnil Prasad, FBC Sports.
The organizing committee for the Oceania Volleyball Championship are in a race against time to raise funds for the meet in Suva next month. Committee Chairman Namani Buniwanga says apart from securing the Vodafone Arena as the venue for the 6-day meet, they will also have to work out the logistics for training sessions for the 8 teams that have so far confirmed their participation.
Only 4 weeks remain until the Oceania Championship gets underway at the Vodafone Arena, and organizers are still sorting out the payment of the venue through corporate sponsors.
It's just having the funding to have to secure that venue financially. We've already spoken to some. Not really going to reveal those that have already raising their hands right now. Hopefully they will raise their hands fully once we get in the next few days. But they are already in line to get these venues.
Another problem that arises is that teams cannot train at the Vodafone Arena throughout the duration of the competition.
Also looking at venues for training. And you know that the coming tournament will be conducted indoors, so we are looking at the venues or the organizations that have indoor gyms, and we will have to do timetabling, you know, prepare that for the training.
Despite the challenges that lie ahead, officials are confident they can deliver one of the best Oceania Volleyball Championship meets in recent times on home soil. Talent Odakavaka, FBC Sports.
Tahiti and Solomon Islands have bid to host the Pacific Games in 2023. Pacific Games Council President Vidya Lakan revealed that both countries are working towards building proper venues for the Pacific Games. The decision on the host venue will be made during the annual general meeting in Port Vila in May.
Tahiti has got at least about 70% of the facilities and venues that we need for the games is ready. And they have to build another maybe 30%. And 1 or 2 venues may have to be or will have to be renovated if they are successful in the bid. Whereas for Solomon Island, they will have to build almost about 80 to 90% of the venues and facilities that we need.
Meanwhile, the 2019 Pacific Games will be held in Tonga. Vodafone Fiji has today signed on as a gold sponsor for Team Fiji to the Rio Olympic Games. With the country already qualifying for the games in men's and women's sevens, football and table tennis, and other sports still going through qualification stages, the assistance is a major boost towards Fiji's campaign in Rio.
The Olympic this year is very important to us. If you want to say it, it's a history in its making. In the sense, you know, we have great opportunity of winning our first gold. And knowing Vodafone, you sponsor rugby, you sponsor soccer, and coming on board to sponsor Fiji team is something that will go a long way for Vodafone and for Team Fiji.
The Rio Olympics will be held in August. And that was FBC Sports. Back to Jackie now for business.
Total Fiji Limited has introduced a new tagline campaign which could increase the profitability of its business. Managing Director Martin McCarthy says the new tagline campaign will be called Energizing Life Every Day. The campaign will involve new TV and radio advertisements, and it is also aimed at improving its services to customers.
Particular tagline. There are some new ads which are being run on TV, being run at cinemas, etc. New posters which you will see.
The new retail tagline program will come into effect later this year. Tropical disturbance TD14F was located about 580 kilometers west of Nandi at 3 p.m. today and is currently moving southeast at 13 kilometers an hour towards Fiji. Associated trough active affects the group. All centers experience cool temperatures today with strong west to northwest winds with average speed of 60 kilometers an hour and gusts to 85 kilometers an hour. And the outlook for Thursday is for rain and it's easing and clearing. Recapping the main stories for tonight. There has been one reported death after floods with one more still missing. Fiji braces for more heavy rain and a possible cyclone. And Thavor residents brace for yet another battering. For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station Gold FM. On to the poll question for this week, and we are asking, can the Fiji Sevens team win the Hong Kong and Singapore titles? To answer, visit our FBC website. Send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email citizenseyes@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via Facebook page, FBC News. And if you're on Twitter, follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC_news or simply hashtag FBC News. You've been watching FBC News. I'm Jackie Spate. Good night and stay safe.
एलिन लटका में मिर्ची एफएम को लॉक कर दिया जाए. मिर्ची एफएम, it's hot.
हम नकाशी से साइमान है. हमारा वेजिटेबल जैसे नंबर 1 है वैसे मिर्ची एफएम नंबर 1 है.
My name is Dinesh. हम नैंडी में काम करता है स्लीपिंग जायंट जिपलाइन में और मिर्ची एफएम is hot. I like it.
Mirchi FM, it's hot.